Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Let's start. Last 2 hours, let's keep high energy and let's complete the portions that is now pending. And here, basically, I told you some modern industries did start in our country. That is a portion that we have to do. We saw, that deindustrialization happened in our country. But now we have to see that some modern industries did begin. For example, maybe in geography also you would have studied the first cotton textile mill. It was started in those days in Bombay. Similarly, first jute mill, it started in Risra, that's in Bengal. So here, whatever you studied before the break, the same thing comes. That is, reasons. What were the causes that certain industries began in our country? Now, you all tell me. The first reason that the Britishers did start some industries in our country, that was mainly because they were, prospects of high profit. They could see that they can make a lot of profit. And one of the reasons why they could make profit, because there was cheap labor. Everybody accepts this. They are going to make a lot of profit because there is a lot of cheap labor. Third, raw material is easily available. The fact that there is a lot of availability of raw material is another factor for that. Fourth, also we saw earlier only, there is market in India and its neighborhood. You have market both these places. So that is another factor. I don't have to say administration is ready to help you, willingness to help. Last but not the least, think about this: certain things, certain markets, like, for example, plantations, minings, could only be started in India. These were the reasons that some of the modern industries did begin in our country. Anyone, any problem with this 6 points? Anyone, any problem in this 6 points? Clear? British administration, you only think, now, don't you think British administration will help you if you are a Britishers? First jute mill at Risra, it's in Bengal, Avni. Premjit, we are talking in the deindustrialization only. There is a sub part that some modern industries did begin in our country. That is the thing that we are talking about here. Now remember, what were the problems that Indian industries faced? Before the break only I told you. We have our credit problems. We have our technology problems. Government is not giving us any tariff protection. And of course, there is unequal competition from foreign companies. All these were the factors. Yes, Sachin, correct. That we were having issues in starting modern industries. Anyone, any doubt in these 4 points? Because before the break, we have already done these 4. Still, anyone, any problem? Clear? Last thing, though not now, but you will study that in India, there was absence of technical education. That is, you would see very few engineering colleges would be started in India in those days. Similarly, in India, because of this, lopsided development took place. Lopsided means that some region there was good amount of development, some other region there was not a good amount of development. So that was another factor. Last but not the least, core and heavy industries never developed in India. Guys, the big industries, they were never ever to be seen in our country. The smaller came, but the big ones, the iron and steel industries or the power generation industries, these did not come up. Lastly, two class emerged. One is the industrial class and another one was the worker class. A very small part of your deindustrialization, which was pending after the break, we had to do it. We are done. And in this only, we have to now understand that because some of these industries are beginning in our country, there are requirements that some law should be made. Please understand, everyone. You are having factories. No, Sachin, there will be middle class also. But industries, do you think there would be a middle class? Middle class, there might be a few, but mainly in the industries, who are there? Workers are there or the owners are there? There might be a small middle class, but here mostly the industrial and the worker class emerged. Guys, for example, think you are one of the people in those days. Now in the factories, you see that there is lack of any law. So people started demanding that there should be some laws that should govern these factories also. And that's why the Indian Factory Act 1893 came into picture. The Indian Factory Act, 1893 I've written, sorry. 1881. There are people like, there is one person named N.M. Lokhande. So they all demanded that there should be some form of legal restrictions. What is legal restriction? For example, how many hours will one work? What will be the salaries? all those things. So at this point, guys, if I ask you one simple question, you will see, just now I'll show you, that at this moment, the major concern of these people was regarding child labor. This act, you know, act primarily dealt with child labor. And they defined that anyone between 7 to 12 is a child. Now, you all think, why is a child involved in a factory? All of you think for a second, why are we going to give a work to a child at this moment? Poverty, less wage, okay, poverty. See, one of the reasons why children would be given the jobs was because they would be given lesser salary and that would work for them. Another reason was that, guys, children, their hands are smaller, body is also smaller. In those days, the machinery would be very, very huge. So the children could get inside those machineries, clean the machines, because, as I told you, thin hands. So their hands could go in every corner. They could clean that also. So for such works, the child labor was involved. As you can see, clearly it is written who is a child. 7 to 12. That means less than 7 age children must not be employed. Don't employ children less than 7 years of age. Number 2, what will be the working hours of children? They said 9 hours. Number 3, they said 4 holidays per month for the children. And the last thing they said, hazardous, yes, Nikhil, machinery should be properly fenced. Hazardous machinery means they were big industries which could cause harm to you, injure you. So they had to be properly fenced at that point of time. That was another thing that was asked from all of them. Am I clear with this? See, this came from a committee formed in 1875, and this committee's recommendations led to this Factory Act of 1881. But very soon, and you will see here only, I'll show you, let's take pink. Very soon there came Indian Factory Act of 1891. In those days, Dinesh, that is the definition of your child labor and all. This Indian Factory Act came because there was a factory commission appointed in 1885, and their recommendations led to this Factory Act of 1891. All of you see here, this time they said child is this time they are saying child labor is 9 to 14. All of you, please compare. Compare both the sides. Is it clear? Last time, what did they say? 7 to 12 is a child. This time, they are saying 9 to 14 is a child. So that means less than 9 age children not to be. Is point number 1 clear? And can you do the difference, the distinction between both the sides? Good. Guys, 7 hours per day. Please see. Last time 9, this time 7. They are saying a child should only work 7 hours per day, not more than that. Guys, can you see the difference? One holiday per week. All of you, do you see any difference in this 4 holiday in a month and 1 holiday per week? Do you see any difference? Or this is same? Does anyone see any difference, or it is same? How many of you think it is same? Those who are thinking different, they are correct. Please understand. This way, there will be 52 holidays. This way, there will be 48 holidays. Can you see one difference? All of you, can you see one difference? Just 4 days, Dinesh, that in itself is a big thing in those days. Ask how many of you are working professional. If tomorrow I say in 1 year you will get 4 holidays, think, would you be happy or not? 4 more holidays than what you are getting right now in 1 year. Will you be happy or not? See, I think people would be happy if they get holidays. I think that's how it is. Some months this 52 could go to 53 also. That also can happen. You are not sure that 52 only, it might be 53 also. Fencing was made much more stringent. That is, hazardous machinery must be much more, properly fenced. Women, no employment within 4 weeks after confinement. How many of you understand this point? Women wala point. Anyone who does not understand the women point? Guys, anyone who does not understand this point? Confinement. Confinement means that a woman who has given birth to a child should not be given any work within 1 year of her, within 1 month of her delivery of the child. Getting my point? That means for 1 month, she should not be given 4 weeks, almost 1 month, I'm saying. For 4 weeks, no job. Because women would be very weak at that point of time. It's not paid leave. Please understand, no paid leave. It's just thing. What I'm trying to show is that these factory acts are progressive here. I'm not saying it is the best law, but compared to the last law, it is better. And why was this brought? To answer Indian critics who talked about the pathetic conditions. Am I clear, everyone? Is this whole thing clear? Remember, not this applicable on British owned tea and coffee plantations. Here, labor was treated like slaves. Remember, if you are working in a tea plantations, and if you want that this should be applicable, sorry, my dear, it is not applicable. You once have signed a contract. If you break the contract, it is a criminal offense. Am I clear, everyone? Lastly, there was a question, and that's why I have brought one more slide here. Trade Dispute Act of 1929. Basically, remember this, that this act was brought and this prohibited strikes and lockouts in public utility without prior notice. So if you are going on strikes, it is illegal. Guys, I don't think there will be any question on this. Already a prelims question has come. I don't think this is that important. If you leave it also, not a problem. 2 questions have come, but the monopoly had ended by this. So shouldn't laws be uniform? No, Ayushi. Please understand. Please understand here. Why were these laws not applicable on the British owned tea coffee plantations? Because in these, has anyone been to tea or coffee plantations? Any one of you? Have you been to any tea or coffee plantations? Any one of you? Have you been to a tea or coffee plantations? See, in those places, if on time you don't pluck the leaves of the tea or the coffee, things will go bad. Don't you think? All of you, if you don't do those things on time, so let's say this is the season when you have to pluck the leaves of the plants, and there you say that I'm going on a strike, what will the planter do? Or the person is saying I'm going on a leave, what will they do? Yes, Nikhil, I'll talk about this later also. When Bhagat Singh would be throwing the bomb in Central Assembly, 2 draconian acts, one of them, the Trade Dispute Act, was being talked in those days. So we'll talk about this later. Am I clear, everyone? Last thing, and before I get into the last thing, see, my request to you all will be, whichever book you study, please keep an eye on terminology. terms can be asked in any exam. For example, can anyone tell me what is calico? Anyone, can you tell me what is calico? Those who have no idea, don't tell me. Ananya, you are very close. Yes, Sumin, correct. Sachin, correct. Okay, tell me, guys. Do you know what is muslin? Do you know what is muslin? Okay, correct. Okay, tell me. Do you know what is chintz? Any idea what is chintz? Any idea? Anyone? What is a chintz? Kunal is saying a metal. Okay, tell me, guys. How did the word muslin come from? From which word muslin came? Or tell me from which word calico came? Do you all understand what I am trying to say? Can you understand what type of questions can come from? I'm explaining this. Don't worry about that. But do you understand what can be the question in our exam? Every one of you. Are you able to understand muslin? Now, somebody is saying it is coming from the word Muslim. No. Let me change the pen color. Then it will become easier. Muslin comes from the word Mosul. Calico comes from the word Calicut. I'll tell you why this. I'm making this for you. Chintz. It is a fine cotton cloth, specially produced in Masulipattnam. Let's remove cotton. It would not be appropriate to put only cotton here. You can simply put it's a fine cloth. It's a fine cloth. Yes, Sanchit. Similarly, calico. First time when our people went from India, Calicut, we studied last week, Vasco da Gama came to Calicut. They took the clothes from India and they exchanged it at Mosul. Mosul is a place in modern day Iraq. That's why the clothes were termed as muslin or Mosul at this point of time. So calico, this is derived from this. So calico is a general term for all cotton textiles, whereas muslin is the fine woven textiles. Now all these are basically nothing but what? Clothes. Can you all understand what type of question? They will give you terms question. We are done with these 2 slides. You can see I have mentioned here Chin's Calico Act. This is one thing that I should tell you, and I'm done with this. Guys, in those days, the Britishers had even brought a Calico Act. No, Dinesh. And under Calico Act, anyone found with a Indian cloth could be fined in those days. That fine could be brought. So this law was brought around 1720 by the British government. And under this, there was prohibiting the use of printed cotton textiles. And all these printed cotton textiles are what? So they are also called your chins. All these were the terms. See, terminology does not come in pre, it only comes, does not come in mains, it only comes in prelims. But wherever, see, terminology will not be taught to you separately. All of you listen to me very clearly. No teacher has the, this thing that they will teach you terminology separately in the classes, because it's monotonous. But if you go in your tablet lectures, there in ancient, medieval, terms have been defined. Clearly, lectures have been taken, because a lot of questions comes on terms. So be prepared on this. Let's come to the next topic, and that is nothing but your means of transport and communication. Just give me 1 second. My monitor is not working. Just give me 1 second. I'll get it. Just 1 second. I'm asking the person to do it. Vishesh. Sorry. Now, a chapter which is not that important. Cyan, you can see here. I'm bringing it. All of you tell me. Hi, Shrikant. Everyone tell me. Before the arrival of the British in India, give me a pen. Just give me a second. Sorry. Hi, hello, Mohammed. I hope Cyan it is done. Everyone tell me, before the British arrival, how did in India we used to do the transport thing? How did we go from one place to another? Somebody has written horse, bullock carts, of course, camel, ox. Hey, you can write elephant also. Some are writing donkeys. Okay, I'll take that also. Whatever you mention. Now somebody has gone to another side. Okay, boats I have taken. Now don't go to yak and all. I'm not sure. Isn't it? All these were the options which we would be exercising. But yes, palki was also there. Palki was also one of the things which was used, as Gulam is mentioning. Now, all of you think these all you can understand are tiger. Priyanka, I don't think tiger was used before the British came, or even now. I don't know how you have thought about tiger. If you are in the mood to make a few jokes, I am open for that. Not a problem. But riding a tiger is a, something that I cannot, you know. So yes, chariots also, why not? You can take chariots, but don't take tiger. So these are the different methods through which people are moving from one to one place to another. Boats I've written. Now, guys, the British, they got this Grand Trunk Road again, you know, reconstructed. But it was made better. Work was done on this. But then this is, yes, Priyanka, I take that your joke. I'm also taking your joke. But then, please understand, yes, Sher Shah Suri had constructed the Grand Trunk Road. It was reconstructed, made proper at this point of time. And at this moment, for the first time, the thought of railway came to their mind. 1831 in Madras. But here they said wagons of these railways would be driven by horses. Please understand, the railway, there will be a wagon, but then it is going to be driven by the horse. First time they gave this suggestion. But guys, everybody knew this is not a very great suggestion. So very soon, 1834, in England, railway was again proposed. Everybody proposed that, let's build the railways in India. Let's bring this thing in India. So they did bring the railways. They said, fine enough, we are going to bring railways. All of you understand who all were the supporters of this railway. This was supported by people who were the railway promoters in England. All of you understand, those who had already constructed railways in England, they supported it. So England's railway promoters. Similarly, those who were the textile manufacturers, those who had made a lot of money at this point. So as Kumkum is saying very clearly, this was Britain's capitalist class. They were getting an opportunity to make a lot of money in India, and they were ready to invest in that. Everyone, till this point, am I clear? Now, they were promised something. What was they promised? They were promised 5% return on their capital by GOI. Government of India said, don't worry, your money is safe. We will give you a minimum 5% return on the money that you are investing in our country. So don't worry, this is done. This is absolutely going to be given. And thus, guys, where was the first line brought? First line, Bombay to Thana in 1853. The first line was established. Anyone? Who is the Governor General at this point of time? Lord Dalhousie. In the morning also we have seen. He is the Governor General. He wants that railways should be constructed in such a manner that the interiors connected to ports of the country. He wants that every interior of the country is connected to the port towns at this point of time. GOI means the British. Sonal, they are ruling on us. The company, and of course you will study that thing, the British government. Now next few lines are not that important, but just giving you an idea. It is said by 1869 4,000 miles of railway were constructed by guaranteed companies who had been given this guarantee that there will be a 5% return on your investment. But then this was slow and this was costly. So government decided to build it on its own. By 1880, both private plus state agencies, they were building the railways. And later, by 1905, 28,000 miles of railway was constructed. Please understand, this numbers nobody will ask you. I'm only showing you the way the growth is happening. State is also building the railway. Private players are also building the railways. They all are building the railways. But then, please always remember, whenever the railway lines were built, three things were kept in mind. Economic. All of you tell me, economically, what was thought? Economically, it was clearly thought. Nobody has commented till now. Economically, it was clearly thought that it should help the British. Raw material basically should go from India to Britain, and finished goods which are coming from Britain to India, they should go to interiors and they should go to port towns. Everyone, am I clear with this? Am I clear that whenever they were building the railways, they kept the British interest in mind? They are not worried how Dinesh will travel from one place to another. They are only thinking how the finished goods will come inside and how the raw material will go outside from India. One more thing you should keep in mind, all the initial investment, 350 crore rupees initial investments was done by British investors, and for the first 50 years there were losses. So always keep in mind the first aspect, that is your economic. The next aspect is political, and let me write here only military. For example, do you know railway lines were built in Burma? Railway lines were built in northwestern India. if I go to this point only, railway lines were built in Burma, northwest India. Reason? All of you think now, why are they building railway lines in faraway places? So that the military could move quickly. Am I clear, everyone? Do you understand why military this thing? Can anyone give me any example of political thing? Any example? Why? Political thing. Can you give me any example? Please refresh the page. I don't think anybody has complained. You can. Prajwal, why are we building railway lines in Northwest or in Myanmar? The reason was through railways, the army could be moved quickly if there is any need. Lastly, how many of you have gone on Kalka Shimla lines? Anyone? Kalka Shimla. Why was that constructed? It was constructed because if there is summer, Delhi is hot. How do you manage that? Through rail, you will take the Governor General to your, I would say, Shimla. Similarly, there was administrative convenience also. Capitals were linked to smaller towns. Am I clear? Sanchit, I don't think there is any need for this 7 examples of this thing. Guys, this was all about transport, though I'll give you some example about communication also, though it's not that important. Because Prajwal, Northwest is near your Afghanistan. So you are fighting over there. You need your, people over there quickly. So similarly here you can see 1853, again during times of Dalhousie, telegraph line was drawn from Calcutta to Agra. Similarly, just give me a second. Postage stamps, again introduced by Dalhousie. PNT department started, and uniform rate of half an anna. Earlier, what it used to happen is how far is the distance of the letter that it has to travel. Based on that, it would be determining how much price would be there. But now the whole thing was, they said that, see, half an anna every place it would be, not more than that. So they gave this thing here, half an anna per letter uniform rate, because this used to be very, very costly in those days. PNT department, those who are not understanding, post and telegraph department. Last thing, the British also brought something called trams in India. Anyone from Calcutta or those who have visited in Calcutta, they would know this. Am I clear with this whole thing? Not a very important chapter. No question has come from this, but then we needed to know about this. We are done with this. No, I think PNT department means telegraph. T for telegraph, Anata, not telephone. Guys, travel to Calcutta, you will see trams. If you have not traveled to Calcutta, travel to Calcutta, you will see the trams. Postage stamps, don't you know, Dinesh? Have you not written ever a letter? Have you written any letter ever? Dinesh, try writing a letter, man. This is something not related to UPSC, but you should go and write a letter and see how it goes to one place to another. I hope you will understand the postal stamps. Okay, please listen to me. Whoever is right now in the class, I want you people to attend this chapter very seriously. Lots of questions come from this. Lots of questions. We are going to talk about the revenue collection methods. And under this, Sachin, chapter 4, it should be there. We will talk about permanent settlement, Ryotwari, and Mahalwari. 3 revenue collection methods have to be studied by us at this point of time. Now, please understand the background. And maybe today we will only deal with one, or maximum we might go in the second one. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to do. 1 hour, 5 minutes is there. And we also have to do some PYQs. So around 7:40, I will stop for the PYQs of the last week. And tomorrow, because I think in the last slides, just give me a second. Yes, in the last slides, we have the PYQs. And tomorrow we will do the PYQs of today and tomorrow. Guys, please understand here. When EIC came in the beginning, I'm telling the background of this. When EIC came, we have already studied just now. Demand of their goods was negligible, because we have studied initially they had not yet destroyed the Indian handicrafts and all. So you all know they also maintained army, and for this they needed money. EIC stands for East India Company. Ananta, all of you tell me, do you understand this point? EIC's goods have no demand in India, so they are not earning money. But at the same time, they require a lot of money to maintain this big army. So all of you, think about the solution. What will be the solution here? Solution is very simple. Solution is collect revenue from India. use this money for what? For buying raw materials and exporting to England. Background, Priyanka. And later import finished goods back to India. Everyone, till here, everyone is clear or not? Their problem and their solution. But there is one more problem. The problem is they don't know the method of collection of revenue. Guys, it is one thing to say that I will study. It is another thing to say I have studied. On paper, they know. Right now test match is going on. On paper, it's very easy to say, we will make runs. But banega ya nahi, that is another matter. So that's the same thing. They are going to collect this revenue. They thought, we will collect the revenue. But now, how do we collect that revenue? That they don't know. And that's where you will see their initial governor generals, like Warren Hastings, later Cornwallis, later Bentinck, and officers like Reed, Munro, they will come into picture. All these people will come into picture and bring different methods of revenue collection. Am I clear? Yes, Nikhil, absolutely. Everyone, is this much clear to you? Because this was background. I have not taught you anything. I have to yet go into permanent settlement. I have to go into Rayatwari. I have to go into Mahalwari. I have only given you the background of this thing. Chaliye. Now let's focus on one. See here. Initial arrangements. Native officials. What is native official? Native official is the Indian officers who were earlier working for Mughals. They were given the task to do the collection. Natives were told that please you do the collection. And the British, they would supervise. British will see, oh, you are working, acha Prajwal is working, acha Nikhil is working, good. But this had problems. One, these Britishers would do corruption. Number two, they had lack of understanding of the local situation. So invariably, these created problems. Now all of you see here, what is the big problem? Everyone please focus. In one slide, I'll now make you understand. See here. This year, this much. Next year, this much. Third year, this much. Fourth year, this much. Next year. Everyone, do you see a problem here? All of you, do you see a problem here? Roshan, you do not see any problem. I see a big problem. Priyanka says inconsistency. Dhanya says irregular. I am seeing. Fluctuations. When you do business, those who are doing business, in any of you, if you are doing business, you would know, when you do business, you want a consistent, you would be thinking, okay, this year this much, like this it should increase. All of you, don't you think? Or at least something like this. But here what is happening? Because of the fluctuations, you cannot take any decision. So that's why, what is the name? Permanent settlement. Please see the name. Let me go to the name here. All of you, I'm writing here. The British appointed zamindar, and this zamindar would collect tax from the peasant. Am I clear, everyone? Please, we are in the late evening, I understand, but please keep on telling me if you are. This is a very conceptual topic. So see here, whatever the peasant that gives to the zamindar will be called rent, and whatever zamindar pays to the British will be called revenue. And zamindar, you all can see for yourself, is basically nothing but your middleman. He has become a broker of sort. Now you will say, zamindar could do corruption, but then Dinesh, have patience. Have patience right now. This was brought in Bihar, Bengal, Eastern UP, Shershah Suri Inderpreet, Eastern UP, Odisha, and Northern Tamil Nadu. As you all know, the problem here was of fluctuation. So the answer to this fluctuation was, at the rate of 1790s, 1 year was taken as a base year. 1790 was taken at a base year, and the amount was fixed permanently. Please see here. Now what will be the graph? That is, every year I want how much? Everyone, can you see? Now there will be no fluctuation. Every one of you, do you see? Now there will be no fluctuation. Why? Because revenue amount has been fixed at the beginning, and this would remain constant. Dinesh, whatever be the yield, you will have to pay that much. If there are drought, if there are famines, there were rules and laws. But the simple thing is, you will have to pay, otherwise, they will take away your animal, they will take away your property, anything like that. Avni, I showed you the map, fluctuations in revenue. Left hand side, bar you can see here. Everyone, am I clear till here? The two people who thought about this, David, whatever was there in 1790, that was the base year. The two people who thought about this, Lord Cornwallis and John Shore. The two people who thought about this, their names were Lord Cornwallis and John Shore. So the zamindars, you can see here, guys, basically company. Here you have written now the British East India Company. Company has outsourced the work to them. Yes, Roshan, that is fixed per year. That is fixed, consistent. You don't have to worry about this. Roshan, I said this year you have to give 20 kg. It's fixed now. 20 then means 20. Is this clear? Because in 1790 you gave 20. So I expect next year, every year, you will have to give this much. Am I clear or not? Remember, this concept is also known as dual ownership. What is dual ownership? When you compare these two, guys, when you compare British and Zamindar, who is the owner? When you compare British and Zamindar, who is the owner? Ayushi, I have written Northern Tamil Nadu, that is portions of Andhra. So here between these two, the owner is British. And when you compare these two, who is the owner? Do you all understand the concept of dual owners? How many of you are from Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal? Guys, anyone from these areas? I come from Bihar. If any one of you knows, I come from Bihar. So when I go in my villages, in my village or in those areas, I usually meet people. People will say, Are, I come from a zamindar family. My great grandfather was a very big zamindar of this particular area. Zamindars, they had a lot of respect, and zamindars became very, very powerful in those days. Now, guys, I'm not going to get into anything that's controversial or anything, which is not related to the subject. Am I clear? Yeah, I'm saying you go any place. See, those who are asking from which area Bihar, trust me, I have lived more of my life outside Bihar now, and much lesser. Though my parents are there in Bihar, I keep on going. Last month also I was there. That is another matter. But I have lived in many states: Jharkhand, Delhi, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Maharashtra. In all these states I have lived. But then, so I would rather, not get into these things. So just I'm telling you that if you see here, at this moment, just give me a second. I have to recollect my thought. Zamindars, they became very, very powerful. Please understand, in Bihar and all these areas, the zamindars, I'm writing Z for zamindar, they became very, very powerful because they were the owners compared to the peasants. They were made owners of forest land, fodder land, agricultural land. They had the freedom, no, to demand. And in all these areas, the zamindars, because they could collect the taxes from the common peasants, they started to become very, very powerful. I'm not sure what you are asking, Sachin. Now, see here. Somebody is asking me, how were the zamindars selected? See, these zamindars in these areas, they used to work for the Mughals. And later, they only were given this whole work that you will collect the, I would say, your revenue. Now, everyone, listen to me very, very carefully. Please, for 2 minutes. Dekho. Let's say this is a village. Zamindar, peasant. They both belong to this same land, such in forest land. All of you tell me, Zamindar and peasant belongs to the same village. Zamindar would know the peasant or not? Tell me, Zamindar would know the peasant or not? Okay. Peasant had to give, let's say, 40. Peasant gave only 30 and said, Malik, next year I will give you the rest of the 10. I will give you 10 next year. Zamindar knew the peasant for many years. They had a relation, bond. Okay, fine enough. But Britishers don't want this. So in 1794, the Britishers brought a sunset law. Under this, that particular day, let's say June month 15th, I want my money by this particular point of time. This is my understanding. You have to give me. And if you don't give, the zamindar would be removed. Ananta fodder land. Everyone, do you understand? If zamindar is not able to give the desired amount, zamindar would be removed now. Am I clear, everyone? Am I clear till here? Now, listen. Earlier, zamindar was the local man. Now, instead of this zamindar, who came? Urban merchant came. What is urban merchant? See, land is in Bihar. Let's say take a district called Madhubani. Land is in Madhubani, but zamindar stays in Calcutta. Now, you all tell me, do you think zamindar and the peasant would have any relation now? Anyone? So, guys, please understand, there will be no relation, Roshan. This urban merchant gave rise to absentee zamindar. That is, he does not stay in the same village. All of you tell me, if tomorrow this tax collection has to be done, what will happen? If tomorrow this zamindar has to collect tax, what will happen? Let me tell you. This absentee zamindar will send a man called Z1, go and collect tax. Z1 will send Z2, you go and collect the tax. Z2 will send another person, Z3, you go and collect the tax. And like this, between the farmer and the absentee zamindar, many a time 10 to 20 intermediaries would be there. Bicholia, that is, everybody will take their own cut. Now all of you think, what will be the position of this peasant? You all think and tell. This peasant's condition will be what type? Very, very bad. He would be in a pathetic situation, because one man is growing the crops, and you can see how many people they are on this. Please understand, Roshan is asking, how did this urban merchant buy the land in Madhubani? Basically, the land will be auctioned. Whoever has won the auction will get the land. So, guys, don't you think the only person whose situation is good here is middleman? And don't you think the situation of the peasant is very bad? Everybody, do you agree with me or not? Now, if any one of you are the peasant in those days, don't you think you will revolt? All of you tell me, don't you think Boli lagana Lakshmi? Don't you think you will revolt? You will revolt. Invariably, you will revolt. Arey, whatever I grow, everything is taken by the zamindar. Better than this, let's do a revolt. Ladte hain. Let's see what this zamindar does. Doesn't make any sense. Jo ugaya, whatever I grow, is taken by the zamindar. David, do you think the urban merchant who is staying in Calcutta will come to this area? He's lazy. He will never ever come at this point. And guys, the other thing might be that the peasant takes loan, and this will lead to rural indebtedness. That is, a lot of loan would be there on the farmer. Everyone, am I clear till this point? Every one of you. Okay. No, Dinesh, there is no provision direct payment. Sneha, every person, Rohit Kumar is a lazy man. Rohit Kumar appointed Prajwal. Prajwal is lazy. Prajwal appointed Dinesh. Dinesh is lazy. Dinesh appointed Shanmugh. Shanmugh is lazy. He appointed Satish. Like this chain continues. Am I clear? Shubhojit, urban merchant is the new zamindar. Prajwal, what is the last point you will have to tell? Rural indebtedness. If you don't do the revolt, you have to pay the rent, you have to pay the taxes. How do you pay the taxes? You take loans in order to pay the taxes at this point of time. Dinesh, there was this understanding that the British would get 10/11 of the collection and Zamindar would get 1 by 11 of that. Getting my point? See, I'll give you one very simple. All of you listen to me. कितनों के पास जमीन है घर पे? How many of you have land at your villages, in your villages, and you live outside? How many of you? Okay, tell me, those of you who are living outside, have you not given your land to somebody that please you work on my land? And you would not have used the word please, you would have said, I'm giving the land, I want 1/3 at the end to be given to me. Hana? Maybe that person gives it to somebody else, that you do it. Now already Rohit Kumar had asked 33%. The bicholia, the money beach, the person who is in between, he will say 40%. So he will keep 6.5. Rest would be there. So don't you all think that this situation is becoming very, very bad at this point for the peasant specifically? Everyone, am I clear with this point? Last thing, 3 words I'm telling you. Rentable, alienable, heritable. Guys, how many of you understand these 3 terms? I can write one more point here only. Zamindars right over land. Please understand. All of you, see. Rohit Kumar is a zamindar of XYZ place. I can give the land on rent to Kshitij. I will give the land on rent. That Kshitij, you work on my land. Guys, is rentable clear? Everyone, is rentable clear? It is my land, but I gave it on rent to somebody else. Rentable. It has been given on rent. Number 2, alienable. Alien. Please see here. I told you what. Let me see where. If Rohit Kumar does not pay the tax by a particular day, the land which belongs to Rohit Kumar today will tomorrow become somebody else's. New urban merchant will come. Don't you think, guys? Alienable. What was mine today, tomorrow has become alien. I have no connection with my land. Is alienable clear, everyone? Each one of you, is alienable clear? Last, heritable. What is mine tomorrow will belong to my son. My son will inherit the property of mine property. My property will be inherited by my son in future. Am I clear with all the 3 terms at this point of time? Ananta, I said, the land which belongs to me today, tomorrow may become somebody else's. No issues, Roshan. No, now it is for daughter. Please, Sneha, please understand, guys. I'm talking about 1790s. Women had no property rights in those days. Ananta, I told you, if you don't pay the amount on time, land will be taken away from you. Choin, I just now explained alienable again. What is today mine, tomorrow may become somebody else's. Am I clear with the 3 terms now? Everyone. Zamindari still exists in Pakistan. Nikhil is absolutely correct, guys. In India, one of the first thing that Congress government did, they abolished the zamindari system, but then the same system continued in Pakistan, and even till today, the big zamindars, they do not pay any taxes at this point of time. Am I clear with everything right now? कीर्ति, sunset. Sunset क्या है? In Hindi, sunset means Suryast Adhiniyam, Kanun. That by the end of a particular day, if you don't give the amount, your land will be taken away from you. आरती, हेरिटेबल मीन्स व्हाट? आज आपका है, मतलब आज रोहित कुमार का है, टुडे इट इज रोहित कुमार्स, टुमारो इट विल बिकम रोहित कुमार के बेटे का, रोहित कुमार सन will get all his property. That is heritable. Sai Babu, rural indebtedness is what? They asked you to pay 100 kg of rice. You could only give 80 kg. Rest 20, where will you bring from? You will take loan for the next 20. You will take loans. Rural indebtedness. Loans are increasing at this point of time. Am I clear with this now, every one of you? Avni, I explained that again. Just now also I explained the rural indebtedness. Please understand, everyone, daughters did not inherit the property in those days. I cannot change this. That's the fact. And we will study it in the socio-religious reform movement chapter. All of you, is permanent settlement totally clear to you people? See, 45 minutes I have given to one permanent settlement. I don't have anything else to make you understand now. I hope, Sai Babu, what is still not clear to you? See, guys, if there are, some things that you have to understand, if something is not understandable, you will also have to put some more extra efforts. Because in the class where there are so many, people, Dinesh, I'm going slow. There is no doubt about the fact. By this time, I should have completed at least this module, or I should be way beyond this. We are going very, very slow. Chalo. See, I'll not be able to do the whole Reotwari, but at least one part of that I'll do. Reotwari settlement. Why was it introduced? Please understand. In South India, British didn't find zamindars. Guys, why couldn't British find zamindars in South India? Why couldn't they do this? Tell me, anyone. Yes, Ananya is correct. Abhinav is correct, because Mughals were never strong in this area. They had less influence here. So Rayatwari was started by these two people. Thomas Munro, the Madras governor, and he only introduced it in Madras. First of all, in Madras it was introduced. Then Assam, Bombay, and central provinces, in all these areas, it was brought. Now, guys, another reason why this Ryotwari was brought, to eliminate the problems of zamindari. All of you, what is the problem of zamindari? Zamindar causes peasant revolts. Zamindars are oppressive. So in Ryotwari, better government will directly collect it from peasants. Everyone, am I clear with this? Government directly would collect it from the peasants. They will send their officials. The government will send their officials and they will collect from peasants. Guys, all of you think, if no zamindar, then situation of peasant is better. Peasant will have more money in hand, and this could be used to buy British products. All of you, can you see this point? All of you, can you see this point? If the peasant has more money in hand, the peasant can use that money to buy the British products only, because there are no intermediate people. Otherwise, the intermediaries would have taken a lot of money. Peasant situation would have been very, very bad. But in this situation, because there is no intermediary, invariably there would be much more money in the hands of whom? Peasants. And guys, if there is money in the hands of peasant, he will buy ultimately what? British product. All of you, can you see this point? Every one of you, can you see this point? Thank you. Another big thing, every 20-30 years, the revenue would be recalculated. Can you see this point? There what used to happen, I'm showing you on the graph. There it was like this. Here it will be like this. Which one is better? Everyone tell me. Do you think this is better or do you think this is better? Guys, here every 20-30 years, whenever we want, we can recalculate the target. We can ask, nahi ab itna do, give me this one. The straight line, it is always consistent, nahi badh raha hai. With every year, with investments, this number should have gone up, but that was not happening here. Anyone, any doubt till here? Abhijit, that's why, because there were so many peasant revolts in permanent settlement, the people had to bring new things like Ryotwari in these areas. The Ryotwari settlements were brought in these areas at this point of time. Yes. Avni, please understand, if there are no intermediaries, invariably their share of money would remain in the hands of whom? Peasants. So their purchasing power will go up. So the peasants, they can, buy these, they can have better, you know, or they can buy much more British products. Ananta, I have written peasant revolts. Am I clear, Avni? Everyone, am I clear? Yes, Dinesh, you can say. Nikhil is asking, why don't we remove zamindari from the northern areas? Zamindars will revolt. Once you try to do that, na, zamindars will revolt against you. That's what they did, you know, against the Britishers during your 1857 revolt. Shubhojit, I wrote the areas, na, Madras, Assam, Bombay, central provinces. These are the two people, Sai Babu, these are the two people who brought this system. Thomas Munro was the Madras governor when he brought it in Madras, and Reed was an officer in two districts, Baramahal and Salem, when this was introduced in his areas also at that point of time. Am I clear? Every one of you, am I clear with this? See, mostly I'm done with everything, but I need 20 minutes for my previous year questions. So whatever is remaining of your Reutwari, tomorrow we will start at 10 a.m. Last 20 minutes, give me for the questions of the, you know, last week. Am I clear to everyone? All of you, am I clear with this? Okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope you people will not leave. Please look into the PYQs also. They are very important. And I'll show you the mains questions also. And I will show you the prelims questions also. Thank you. Those who are already writing, thank you. Thanks a ton. See, our work is to teach you with patience. So I will be doing that. Not a problem. So just have patience from your side also for the last 20 minutes. Trust me, it will be really helpful for you people. Let me see which slide. Okay, okay, okay. PYQ. So I think there is 18 PYQs for the day. Let's start with the first one. Very easy question, 2007. I'm starting a poll. I'll give you 14 seconds, 15 seconds. Please give me the answer. Rohit, we are covering modern history only. Oh, I also have to answer. Sorry. Sorry, I forgot that I also had to answer it. I totally forgot this thing. %52 have given this thing. Remember, we studied the French were the last one to come to our country. 9. Okay, let me change the pen color. 9% only had given this, 52% had given this, 33% had given this, and 6% had given this. Last was the French. There was no doubt about that. 2012 question. I'll give you 30 seconds here. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. I'm in a generous mood. I hope everybody has given the answer. Okay, 31, 25, 29, 15. And the correct answer is D. See, I don't expect anything. I did not want this to be the answer because I had taught you last week that in India, tobacco was brought by the Portuguese. I have clearly mentioned in the slides. So at least C should not have been the answer. To give you an idea, rest of the 2 points you will study in your medieval history, like mobile cannons were used by even Babur. So 2 is wrong. During the times of Akbar, there is Todermal who had used this, to check land revenue on the basis of nature of the soil and the quality. Answer was D. Please look, 2021 question directly came from the slide. Oh, I forgot that I also have to answer these questions now. I'll give you 30 seconds. Let me answer. I've answered. Now let's see how much you all are doing. Okay, 28%, 22, 26, 25, equally divided, and the answer is A. Please go back and look into the slide. That's one point. Another thing, please see here. Everyone tell me, what does this say? By 1625. Do you think that the English East India Company would have factories in all these three places? 1625. Remember, last week we studied that they got the permission for Surat when William Hawkins had come. Next, Thomas Roe came, and Thomas Roe was given permissions like Broch, Agra, Ahmedabad. These areas were given the permission. They never established factories in these two places. These two were wrong. A is the answer. Directly from the slide, the question had come in 2021. Very easy question. Look at one point, you will get your answer. Let me go to the poll, a new poll. Okay. ठीक है. Okay, I marked my answer. Okay. 7, 21, 54, 17. C is the answer. Very easy question. Why? Elimination. He did not die in Goa, rather, he died in China. 2 is wrong, 2 is wrong, 2 is wrong. C is your answer. But then, if you look at modern day questions of UPSC, elimination was totally eliminated this year. So, my request you people would have to you people, it would be that please look into, and have the idea of all the options. It cannot be that you have half the knowledge presently. You knew two, great, but you also know 1 and 3 also. Please look at this question. We'll give you 1 minute. 30, 23, 26, 21, and B is the answer. Now, let me tell you, those who went with C and D, very bad option. I had clearly told you Ahmad Shah Durrani means Ahmad Shah Abdali. Abdali was an Afghan chief, but he did not start Rohilkhand. We have studied it was started by Khan Bangash. So 3 was wrong, and these two options you had to definitely eliminate. I know one, some people would have gone initially. We also had thought about this, but UPSC, when it came with its key, they said B is the answer. And reason was the Nizamat of Arcot emerged not out of the Hyderabad state, but emerged out of the Mughal Empire. So technicality, Arcot did not say that they are becoming independent from Hyderabad. They said they are becoming independent from Mughals. That's why one is wrong and the answer is two. I hope, Sachin, you are understanding the logic. Very simple question. 15 seconds I'll give you. 55% have given the correct answer, 0 and 9. Fort William is Calcutta, came much, much later. Fort St. George is modern day Chennai, came in 1640s. So the answer was B. Very easy question. 15 seconds. Be prepared. %66 have given the correct answer. It is asked, in this year, where was they given the permission? The answer is Surat. The permission was given by Jahangir. Very easy question. I just now gave the answer, Jahangir. That's why. No issues, Nitish. Now, tell me which is not correctly matched. See here, not correctly matched. I'll give you 30 seconds. Adiba, last option is Aurangzeb Manuki. 44% and correct. 10, 15, 31. We saw William Hawkins and then came Thomas Roe, and he did not come during times of Akbar but rather during the times of Jahangir. Guys, very easy question. 2003. Let me start a new poll, and this I'll give you 30 seconds. Done. Dinesh, he was a visitor, you know, tourist, if I say in simple words. %48 have given correct answer. 29 have gone here. Please understand, this was Farooq Shir. This was your Humayu. Of course, C is correct. And this was Rafiud Darjat. Okay, let us do the last six questions tomorrow because there is only 6 minutes. And from this question, I'll do this tomorrow so that I can take a few questions, your phone calls also. Six questions are pending, out of which two are mains questions, rest are your pre questions. Yes, there are two questions of mains also. So six questions we will do tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. If anyone has doubts, let me, call me. You have 5 minutes for your calls. Please ask me anything. Sachin.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sachin. Tell me
Sir,
your question.
I have asked a question before the introduction of permanent settlement system. There was
Huh?
multiple fluctuation in the revenue collection. So, what were the factors that was responsible for that fluctuations?
No, because see, initially when Warren Hastings was the governor of these areas, 72 to 85, the system was not properly organized.
Yes.
And even when the dual system was going on between 65 to
Mm-hmm.
72, because of the factors like corruption, because of the factors that, you know, they would blame the Indian officers, like Raza Khan was blamed for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they also did not know the system. They could not, or they would blame the Indian officers for that. They were
Mm-hmm.
corrupt people. All these were the factors that would lead to these fluctuations.
Is there a weather factor for also responsible like famines, drought, something like that?
Weather will always be a factor. That will be later on also.
Okay.
Famine would be there later on
Yeah.
also. Of course, for famine, they brought laws later.
And
Famine, drought, for all that, they were
and
laws later. There is no doubt.
company was not concerned of it.
Company, for example, you will study later, Kheda and all. There is a drought. And what company does, you not exactly company, but the British Crown, what they will
Mhm.
do, you will see. Anyways, tomorrow we will study the famine
Thank you,
chapter.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you, yeah. Goodbye. Guys, for today's chapter, please read the your chapter number 4 at this point of time.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Hello.
Hello, sir, how are you?
Hi, Sahil.
Actually, sir, I was not able to
I'm good, Sahil. You
attend a
tell me.
lot of your classes because I had to loom out. My mom was feeling sick, and I certainly do apologize for that. Then my question is
Not a problem, man. Who is sick?
about sick.
Who is sick? Take, take care of whoever is sick. I did not
Oh,
get
my
who
mom
was
was sick,
sick.
so that's why I was not able to
Take
attend
care.
classes.
Okay, mom.
So
No issues.
okay,
Take care of your mom, man. Please
yes,
ask
sir.
away.
Actually, the thing I want to ask you is about Sikh Empire. So, when first Anglo-Sikh War happened, how did Britishers were adroit to defeat Sikhs, even though Sikhs had a lot of infantry with them?
I would say the major reason for that was that the Sikh commanders, specifically the Tej Singh, Lal Singh, these people had already been on the side of British. They were doing the betrayal with the Sikhs. In many books, it is written that the Sikhs had thought about challenging the Britishers by surprising them at that point of time. But what these Tej Singh and Lal Singh did was that they informed the British, and you know they were basically I would say you know they did not let the element of surprise come into the picture. And that's why, in spite of the fact that the infantry was there was a lot of number of
After
soldiers,
Ranjit Singh?
everything, but then also they lost at this.
It was after
Sorry.
Maharaja Ranjit Singh?
Yeah, it was after Maharaja Ranjit Singh. It is around 1845
All
46.
right. Because as far as I remember,
They were the Mir Jafars of the Sikh kingdom.
yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
Done. Let's
Thank
take
you.
the next call. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you. Goodbye. Let us take the call of Dhanya.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Dhanya. Yeah, Dhanya.
Sir, my doubt is from Second Anglo-Sikh War, which is because you told me that British settling in Punjab is became a very big cause for Second Anglo-Sikh War. I can't get it.
The British soldiers, after the first Anglo-Sikh War, the British soldiers, they could remain within Punjab. So you can understand this is seen as an insult that in my house, why would you live?
Oh, okay.
So that also was a factor there. And people wanted to take revenge of the humiliation that was being meted out to them at this point of time.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much for your concern.
Thank you, Danya. Goodbye. Let's take a call from David.
So very good evening, sir.
Good evening, David.
Sir, in permanent settlement, you said that the amount was fixed permanently, taking 1790 as the base year, sir. So
Yeah.
my doubt is how much is the amount that happened that should be collected? Or one
So
more thing.
it would depend on place to place, soil to soil. Getting my point? It will not be everywhere the same would not be there. And anyways, I don't know exact number, but the whole thing was it was decided at the very beginning.
Okay, but suppose if a peasant is having 10 acres of land, that would vary from the same peasant having 10 acres more fertile land. You're saying, right, sir?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, David. So let us end the session for the day. Okay, let's take one call more for Ajay. Last call, Ajay, because he had already called at 7:59.
Hello.
Hi, Ajay.
Hello, Jain sir.
Jai Hind.
Sir, I want to ask a doubt on Thomas Munro's right body system, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I don't get what percent of tax they imposed on the peasants at that time, sir.
It would be varying according to the quality of land, according to dry land, wetland, everything. So sometimes it might be 50%, at other times it might be even 60%.
So it's the same feature of permanent settlement which is induced in right body system, sir.
No, basically here the thing is, if you look in which sense you are saying the same thing.
Actually, you right now said that in permanent settlement there are no tax rate are fixed. We can impose tax on the soil and on the basis of soil and on the basis of production, maybe we can say.
No, see, here also it was 50, 60, depending on the quality of
Yes,
land.
sir.
The land would be assessed, surveyed, and everything was done here
So
also.
there is not
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, let's meet tomorrow, everyone. This call got disconnected. Let's meet tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a ton. Goodbye.